So welcome back again. We had a session about proper communication techniques with chair board members. Now our topic is communication techniques with delegates by Aleyna BAKAR. Aleyna BAKAR graduated from 50. Yıl Tahran Anatolian High School. She started participating in MUN since 2016. During these conferences, one of the clauses she wrote on a resolution approved by the United Nations and helped to solve a real world crisis. In the meantime, she was invited to the United Nations conferences both in Turkey and the US. Aleyna successfully attended Harvard MUN with an award. She also experienced some international MUNs as a chair board member outside of Turkey. Now, her willingness to solve the real-life topics, to teach everything she knows, made her continue doing MUNs. So, Ms. Bakar, stage is yours.
Thank you. First of all, welcome everyone. I'm glad to meet with you here today. And I would like to thank to MUN Turkey for inviting me. Right now, the topic is communication techniques with delegates, which is most important topic for a chair board since it seals the fate of the conference. Because if the chair board has really great communications with delegates, then the conference is best conference ever. So how it is important? After this presentation, you will understand reflexively that this is the most important topic. And right now, the world we're living is aware of communication is really important. The communication is what makes us to come together. So I would like to talk on the matter. So if we can create a good communication between delegates, then you completed one of the most challenging topic for a chair board. Introduction is you have to be confident with the delegates because you're more experienced than them, so you can show your confidence and be more friendly with them. After that, listening. Listening is too important in every stage of life. Be a good listener. If you don't know how to listen better, you can use some techniques like tell someone else. For example, you're listening to your delegates, then take notes while you're listening. Then you can ask for, you can summarize their speech, like, do you want this? And they say, yeah, I want this. Thank you for listening. Or other chairs in academic meetings are important because during there, you have to specify what you listen. By telling what is the problem, you can listen better. So working closely with someone requires listening so you can understand what is the problem. Keep the eye contact. And for example, when you're doing a speech, let's say that someone is giving a speech to you and not even look in your eyes, or you're talking to someone but they do not care about you, or you feel like it because they're not directly looking at you. If you feel like it's weird to look someone's eye directly, you can look for the point here and they will still feel like you're looking at them. Smartphones away, please. Do not use smartphones while you're talking to someone, listening to someone. It is really important. Even if you are solving the topic at the moment, just take notes instead of using your smartphones. And the important thing is ask. Please ask what the delegate mentioned, or if you can't hear, it's no problem. Just ask the delegate what is the problem specifically, and they will answer it. They will like to share more about their situation. And just listen. Do not look another assignment. Do not look another responsibilities. Just listen to the person carefully and do not care about it. For example, if you're listening to somebody, you're not supposed to say something in the middle of the conversation. So just listen instead of talking. And share what you have done in similar situation. For example, delegate is nervous and you have to say something for motivating them. Instead of listening and saying, oh, it's okay, please share your story. Like, oh, I have been in this situation too. I did this and you can do this, you can do this too. Maybe it will be better for you to use the same situation during the same situation. Well, there are some connections which are being available, open to feedback, and manage. If you're not available, if you're going another place while it's coffee break or lunch, then delegates will be struggle by finding you and you're not available. So they will think that we cannot ask any questions or we cannot ask for help. So be available. Just don't go, I don't say don't go out during the coffee breaks, but be more available. Like if someone says something, stop what you're doing and listen to them carefully. Open feedback. I think the feedback is really important. Some of the secretariats are not giving feedbacks about the chairs at the moment, but I think it's important. When you're a member of the chair boards, I usually ask delegates that if you have feedback, just say it. If there's a problem, so we can solve it right now at the moment. If you say at last day of the conference, we cannot solve anything, and we want delegates having a great time in committee. So be open for feedback and listen to them carefully. Listen. It's really important. Manage. Yeah, management is really important. The reason why it's important is you have to clearly communicate with delegates about goals, process, and challenge they will face so that delegates will understand what they're going to do and what are the problems. They can feel normal because some of the delegates are feeling so stressful. So if you mention about the goals, process, and challenge, then they can feel normal and they will understand everybody is struggling because of them. Friendly. Okay, being friendly is really important too. As I said, the topic is really important, so you may hear the word a lot. The reason why it's significant is you have a positive attitude. If you use different kind of attitude, people are less likely to communicate with you. So you are a team together. Delegates are not separate from you and you're not separate from delegates. As you see in position part, there is a pyramid and you're the middle of it. You're no higher than the delegates and you're no lower than delegates. So do not forget that you are together as a team. If there's something going on in the committee, it also involves you. If a delegate or delegate struggles while writing a resolution, you can go and give ideas, give your opinions. You must be like, you don't have to know everything. You can give false information, like not false information, I'm sorry, false solution. For example, the solution you gave is wrong. So the delegates will be like, the solution you gave is incorrect. We can do this instead of that. And you say, yes, sure, because at the moment you're not giving the correct solution for them because you're not writing the resolution. You're just giving your opinion and ideas and they will decide what they're going to do. So be patient and allow time for the delegates, but do not forget that you're supposed to keep time, and for that I recommend you to have a schedule, and the schedule must emphasize what you're going to do at the sessions. For example, first sessions we will do icebreaking, for example, so that if you share information about scheduling to the delegates will understand your timing and they will be on time while writing the resolutions and debating. By that time, if there is a mistake happen during the committee, this is also your fault too. You cannot say that it's just because of the delegates we couldn't do it, because not only delegate is responsible for the committee, but also the chair board. Express your feelings clearly about the committee generally, but you supposed to have an unbiased opinion, so don't avoid your personal feelings while talking to your delegates or giving a speech. Instead of that, just give a clear idea or give your opinions that guys, it's really great that you all listening to me and we have done our resolution. Thank you all for your great effort, and you can appreciate what they're doing, and also you can celebrate like coffee breaks. So you can celebrate like reading gossips or having a nice break, because while delegates are so bored, you can do something else. While they're moderating, you will understand the difference of their activeness and bored version of them. So at that moment, please stop and but be careful on the time. Stop what you're doing and do something fun for them. And deal with difficult times. Delegates must.
Excuse me, I'm so sorry for interruption, but is your slide is flowing because
Okay.
we are still in the friend lines part.
A delegate could have a difficult time, so you have to know that they're in pain and let them know that you're thinking of them. And most important, do not correct a delegate, please. And non-verbal communications. Be careful about your eyes, hands, legs, and arms. Keep your eyes front, like keep the eye contact, and hands must be open, and also legs must be stable, because if you're doing like this, it's really annoying. And also arms should be open like this instead of this. Let's see an activity. Like in the left, you can see that it's really bored. Like if you keep this communication during while delegates are speaking, delegate will stop and do not want to talk again. So do the right instead of all left. Okay, I will show some common mistakes. You can take a photo of it or show it. So as I said, if you do what I stated here, then you're perfect to go. Lastly, there are some notes that I still said. The spotlight is shining on you, and please be careful on what are you doing and be friendly, but keep your personal professionality, because you're here to have a really healthy communication instead of being real friends. And there are some risks. Lastly, risks are co-chairs, because you have to keep the communications really great with them so the delegates would listen you all. If you have a problem with the co-chair, this is really interrupting the delegates. Second, delegates. Delegates can have difficult behavior. If you have a delegate who has difficult behavior, please emphasize and show grace to them. But if the delegate is really challenging, please mention it to the academic team. This third risk, why? Because if you did not mention anything going on in the committee, then it can be a problem between you and academic team. After that, delegates would be affected by what you're doing. And lastly, there is a idea chart there, and you can use it while you're determining what you're going to do during the committee, but please discuss goals before the committee, education, training, and assess progress while you're during the committee. And identifying needs is really important because you're seeing the delegates, you're identifying, and you're going to determine what you're going to do. For example, you can give orders because it's out of time, or please set aside time for expectation and trainings too. Thank you. If you have any questions, I can have it. We have time.
Yeah, thank you very much for your presentation. We have a few questions. First one is, how can a chairperson politely warn a delegate if he or she has stated something offensive?
Okay, first of all, you have to warn the delegates, like you can show that you chair and your responsibilities are to serve you and have a position paper at last. So you can actually say that the delegate of, for example, United States, delegate of United States, please suspend your attitude. You're actually saying something offensive and it's not healthy for us. And if you have any problem, you can talk to me after the committee. You can give offer and talk with the delegate later on, or use notes. As you can see in my presentation, there are a lot of notes, right? These notes are actually motivating the delegates. So use your small notes to write them. Always write them. If they say something offensive, write them personally, please. Do not say that, not warn the delegate with inside of the committee, because then you can check their team buildings. So write notes, and you can use notes for motivating them too, and it's really cute to using them, by the way. I can have the second question.
Yes. How can a chairperson solve a problem that has occurred between two or more delegates?
Yeah, here I can go back, but in the risk factors you saw the delegates, and if there are a group problem, mostly it occur while you're building the team. There are some people cannot connect with each other at the moment. So you have to understand the problem. You have to communicate with them one by one. After that, if you can understand the situation, come together and solve with those delegates, not in front of everyone. If you cannot solve anything, then ask academic team for help, because they're by your side for this. If you have any problem, if you struggle while solving a problem with delegates, you can help.
What should a chairperson do if a delegate speaks offensively all the time?
Yeah, as one of the question was, warn a delegate politely. After you warn them, if they still continue, even you send a cute note, then you should ask academic team for help. They will come to the committee and they will watch the delegate. If there's a problem like that, they will talk to the delegate. But I recommend all of you guys to do not give any officials or something, because it's not responsibility of the chairs, it's responsibility of the academic team. So ask them about warning or something, and they will observe the delegate. After that, if you're right and the delegate is offensive, it's their decision on giving warnings or, warning them officially or no.
Okay. How can a chairperson help if a delegate writes a resolution or other documents by herself or himself?
Yeah, when you're a chairperson, it's really hard to keep the time. So give more time on documents. Why? Because if you see a problem, you can solve at the beginning. But if you try to solve it on last day, that is really it's really a problem. It's causing really big problems. So you can recommend something, as I stated in friendly part. So you can recommend something like clause or solution, but you're not giving your solution exactly. You just recommending them that you can do this if you want to, and if they want to, they can write. However, you have to teach them, you have to train them about how to write resolutions. So after that, you can help. You can go near to them. Do not write something. Just ask the delegate that you can change this. You can write this instead of this, and the delegate will be trained, learn, and also you help them too.
Mm-hmm. How can a chairperson encourage delegates to speak up?
Yeah, I actually stated them all, but I feel like it's not enough for me to tell everything during the presentation because of the time limit. So I liked your questions. I can give more information with your questions. With encourage, what I have done was encourage. So you can encourage them like, you can speak up. Oh, I love your speech. It was great. Or after the committee, you can see them. Well done. You had really great speech. You can talk more. And do not force them, please, because if you force them and say that you have to talk, then they won't, because they feel the stress inside. So you can write little cute notes if you want to, because I did it a lot of times. Delegates share their opinions, like I have anxiety or depression, but I encouraged like it's okay, and you can show a different pathway. For example, if a delegate doesn't want to speak, you can offer them to be active in resolution, for example, but you can motivate them really quickly with your voice and your words. It's really efficient.
So thank you very much for your informative presentation, and also visually your presentation was great. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
So
I wanted to talk more, but if you have any questions, you can send a mail to me, Aleyna BAKAR, or you can write me from Instagram or LinkedIn. It's stated there, as you can see. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Nick, hope to see you in the next session.
Goodbye.